everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Now, as much as this unintentional white upon white may look as if I'm about to go play tennis promoting a tampon advert, the truth is actually the complete opposite, considering this is a complete guide to having a zero waste period. Now, to point out the obvious, people that go zero waste are trying to reduce their waste. However, the concept of reusing period products may be bizarre to some, so ultimately I'll also be destigmatizing that as well, because I've been trialing three the most common products that you'll find in a zero waste period lineup, and I'll just be giving you my experience from what I've personally found, best way to clean these products, and ultimately a brief review of these products as well. So without further ado, then I'll introduce you to the first product that I've been trying, which is a menstrual cup. Now, I've tried a variation of budget-friendly and more known name brand ones. This one in particular is an Organicup. The appeal to this one for me was that the packaging itself that it came in was also zero waste as well. I wasn't left with any package that was a one-time use that I had to dispose of, like the more budget-friendly ones that you would find like on eBay or Amazon and things like that. So though the Organicup was more pricey, I have found that that was an appeal to me, and also with the expense as well in comparison to other cups that you might find online. I've also noticed that potentially it's the grade of silicone, I'm not sure, it's less likely to stain. The staining, as much as I know once I've cleaned it, it is clean, it just gives me that added reassurance that it is clean. But yes, it's less likely to stain for whatever reason the more expensive you go, it seems, from my personal experience. I have been trialling, again, all of these products for the past 3 months that I'm going to be outlining. So I've had my fair share of experiences with a few cups by now, and I've had about 3 or 4 cycles within that time frame. If you're not familiar with a menstrual cup, period cup, the sole purpose is that it collects the blood throughout the day, and the main appeal to me anyway, which might also appeal to you, is that you can actually keep it inside for up to 12 hours. So if you're going outside of the house and potentially the public toilets or work toilets that are available to you aren't the most hygienic and you don't really want to be messing around down there during that time, then the advantage is you can go do what you need to do for the day and come home and then deal with it in the most hygienic way possible in your own bathroom. You would clean it at the end of every use and just boil it in a pan is what I do, just to sterilise it. So that's how you would clean it. To insert, you get into the most comfortable position possible. You fold it up like such. There are other ways as well, but this is the way I've personally been doing it. You insert inside, it should pop open. If not, you can give it a tug and that will help to create the seal. And ultimately it will create a seal, which means that they'll either be limited to no leaks. From my personal experience, every cup I've tried has, to a certain extent, leaked. So I do always like to double up on another product as well. But for the most part, it does collect the majority of product. And at the end of the day, you would just pull it out with the nozzle and then dispose of it in the toilet. And as advised, just sterilise and give it a wash at the end of every use. Once your periods have ended for the month, you can put it away in the convenient bag that it comes with, and you can either put it in your bathroom cabinet or your bag whatsoever in the event of any unexpected appearances, should it occur. So this is one of my favourite products. Again, not brand specific, any menstrual cup in general is really coming useful, considering I've not got to make sure that I've got cupboards full of tampons on hand there. So that has entirely replaced tampons for me, which I'm really happy about, because again, it's also saving me money in the long run. So that's another advantage to the menstrual cup. Next product then is reusable pads. Now you can potentially find more ethically made ones. Ultimately, when I was first starting my zero waste journey, these are just the ones that I purchased. I'll leave any links down below so that you can find these items yourself if you want to. Now, reusable pads, at least in my personal opinion from experiences that I've had in conversation with other people, seem to have the most stigma. But let me just debunk this in saying that you reuse your underwear. and that's not bizarre to anybody. So the same situation here, they're perfectly hygienic. At the end of the use, you put them in cold water. I like to use a metal basin that I put under my wash basin, just so that we can use it for the time being. Put it in cold water for a couple of hours and then throw it in the wash with everything else, and they're perfectly clean by the end of it there. So that debunks that there. There's no smell, it smells perfectly normal like your clothes would smell once you reuse them, and it is nice to get into a habit just of reusing products. It should realistically be reusable, because ultimately, do you really want to use a one-time use plastic menstrual pad? Would take up to 500 years to biodegrade. I'd much rather use these. So much like a normal pad, it has the wings, but rather than the sticky sides, you've got these buttons which fasten on to your underwear like that. These are the more budget-friendly alternative to, let's say, period pants, because you can just use your existing underwear and put these over top. I'd say these are very heavily absorbent, so they do definitely do the job. I've never once had any leaks with these whatsoever, and I'm comfortable wearing them overnight as well. I can use them without the menstrual cup, and I'm perfectly safe. As I said, no leaks in the past 3 months. I don't expect there to be leaks either, because I am comfortable that these do the job perfectly fine. And I also do just double up with the menstrual cup if I'm going to work. If I'm at home, I'll just use these on its own. So that was the most budget-friendly option that I'd recommend, and potentially the most familiar one that you're potentially familiar with using already. It would be a nice transition from the single-use to the reusables. And then lastly, which is definitely just an optional additional extra that you definitely don't need, but it's nice to have if you can afford, is period pants. I think one of the most well-known brands is Thinx, so that's obviously what I got. At the time, I think I must have paid about £40 all in all, with like shipping and everything like that, because it came from the USA, which wasn't ideal. So it definitely comes with some flaws from my personal experience, but at the same time, it's a nice little extra to have if you want to feel just like nice, like, and especially at night time, these are useful to wear as well. I'd say they're more so for lighter flows than heavy flows. They wouldn't catch a heavy flow. But again, it's nice to double up on with the cup as well, because that way I know for sure I'm not going to have any leaks whatsoever. And in my whole experience with any of the products I've used, I've not had any leaks. It's just with this whereby it may have stained the coloured side of things, but it does come out perfectly fine. So again, no issues there. Now, the one problem that I do have with this is after the second use, it started to come unravelled. Now, I don't know whether this was just my one, and it probably was just my luck, but it started to unravel there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'll give you a close-up. And then more recently, bear in mind I've only had these for about 3 months, it started to come unravelled there as well. So again, it could very well just be mine. But I've stitched it up and it seems to be doing fine. But that's the experience that I have had with that. And again, lighter flows with this one I'd recommend for rather than heavy flows, and you can wear it overnight just for some added security. So to recap then, those are the 3 main products that you'd find in a zero waste period product household, and I've had varying results with them. The period pants are more so for light flow and just to make you feel a little bit better while you're on your period, just to help you feel a bit more attractive. The most functional has been the menstrual cups and the reusable period pads. Ultimately, the period pads are the more beginner-friendly introduction, so that you can understand that you can actually reuse period products and that it's perfectly normal and perfectly clean. All in all of these products that I've tried, I've had a very positive experience with all of them, aside from the breakage on the period pants, but ultimately I'd recommend trying these out for yourself. Realistically, it saves you a lot of money in the long run, considering you'll no longer need to purchase disposable pads and tampons. You can if you want them as an added security, but in my personal experience, once you've gotten used to using these, you realistically won't need them. The menstrual cup is the main thing that will take a couple of tries getting used to, which I think is the main thing that the majority of people suggest on that one, but once you've gotten the hang of it, it is really handy. And let me know if you have used any of these items yourself and how you got along with them yourself. Any questions, leave them down below as usual. And until next time, I'll see you again. Okay? Bye.